should be live on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1209. That's right, episode number 1209 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose Live Edition. Live today from Red Morton Park. This is day 40 of the GNA Positivity Challenge, and today we're going to be talking about false copyright narrative for content. One more time. We're going to be talking about false copyright narrative for content. Hey babe, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. You did a great job recording the podcast earlier today. Thank you very much for that. You folks are really going to enjoy episode number 39 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, coming up this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on our other channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, our main channel. Links below in the description. We're going to be talking about health insurance. And we're going to be sharing with you folks that, hey, you better get your health insurance. You better start working on it now, like this week, immediately, because this is open enrollment right now. And, hey, well, for employers, it started a little bit earlier, but you can make policy changes on existing policies before they renew at the beginning of the year. So, and with everything that's been going on regarding the Affordable Care Act, with Obamacare and health insurance prices just going up over the last couple years, health insurance prices have literally gone up by probably around 30% between both years. It's ridiculous how high these prices have gotten, but we need health care. And people that say, oh, I never use it, you never know. You cannot go without health care insurance. It doesn't matter who you are or what you say. In my opinion, you cannot go without health care insurance. So make sure you go below the description. If you haven't subscribed to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, make sure you go below in the description and subscribe to that. Bang the bell and select the notifications so you don't miss anything. All right, let's get to today's topic. We're only going to do 2 laps and probably walk around the lot for a little bit. So, I took the day off yesterday. Don and I, we went downtown to enjoy the Christmas festivities here in Redwood City, California, where we live here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Hey, Tia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. And, between yesterday, we got some people coming. Between yesterday and today, I really hadn't planned to talk much about my circuit civil case against the defendant, a YouTuber I'm suing out here. I am the plaintiff. He's the defendant. I really hadn't planned to talk much about him because he was remaining quiet for a little while. But as everyone that knows this guy, and I've known him for 8 years, we know when this guy remains quiet or when he tries to create other content besides me, and that content doesn't land with the views, comment engagement on community postings or videos, right, or donations, we all know he always circles back to me. And I know he's watching right now. And sir, if you're watching right now, hey, whatever. You can actually, whatever you want to put out publicly to YouTube for YouTube optics and to try to reignite the dead flame on your channel because your audience is full of my haters and that's the only content that they'll engage with. If you want to continue to, basically flat out lie about things or spin those things way out of context because you've got nothing else, and then you want to lead those people to believe that I have no leg to stand on in court and that I have no leg to stand on regarding my copyrights or anything, you and I, and including your girlfriend that amplified your message by making a community posting, you folks know that what you're saying is completely false. Now, as far as your girlfriend goes, I don't think she really understands copyright. I think she's just going along with whatever narrative she thinks you need for YouTube optics. That's all this boils down to. And see, here's the thing. You can lead your audience to believe whatever you want them to believe. Some may believe you, some may not believe you, right? Most probably don't believe you or know you're lying, but they don't care because their hatred for me is greater than your lies to them. Their hatred for me is more important to them than your lies to them, because you're flat out lying on purpose for YouTube optics. You know it. You know that I know it. Most of your audience knows it. All of my audience knows it. Everyone knows that when your content, mill runs dry, and you try to pivot away from Eli content that you've been dependent on for the longest time, again, because your audience is primarily Eli haters, right? You see your numbers going down. You see your numbers going down. And when you see your numbers going down, that's when you come back to the Eli content. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. Can you please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly? Please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Thank you, babe. Okay. So yeah, your audience knows that, whatever narrative you're trying to spin that completely goes against, in this case, copyright law, they know it's false. But again, it doesn't matter, what the truth is to you folks, because all of you have a reckless disregard for the truth, because this is all about an entertainment, content engine that you just can't seem to let go, because you literally get zero traction otherwise. It's almost like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like you need me to reignite your audience because that's all they want. And again, you could spin this narrative any way you want to spin it. You can even try to lead me to believe, like you said in your postings, that this does matter in the civil case. No, it really doesn't, besides you continuing to harass me, right? You continuing to try to spin flat out lies about me. You are lying about copyright law, and you are spinning things way out of context. It's harassment. You are harassing with this type of content. So dang cold. It was -6 degrees this morning. Oh wow, it's like 40, 46, 45 degrees right now. I'm all good for right now. It's cold, but I'm bundled up, so I'm all good. I got my gloves on. It's all good, right? Okay. So here's what happened last night. The defendant puts out a video because his engagement was garbage, right? He made other postings, he's done other videos on other channels, and it's like they just weren't landing, right? They're not getting him the traction, they're not making him the money. And so he goes back to good old trusty Eli, right? Even in the middle of a circuit civil case that he's a defendant on, that he also has filed a motion to dismiss an anti-SLAPP, and he continues to do things that continue to speak the opposite of what he's saying I'm doing to him. I'm not trying to silence him. He's been defaming me. He's been harassing me. He continues to harass me. He continues to enrage this audience, acting in concert with this audience, because he just can't let the narrative go. He can't let the narrative go that I'm standing up for my rights, and I have legal rights, right? And until the judge sees this and the judge rules on this after I present my case, he's going to continue to spin this for as long as he can until he is legally stopped. That's why we're in court, right? But here's the thing. He put out a video yesterday saying that I gave him permission to rebroadcast his streams as recent as 2024, right? When this guy is proven wrong with receipts. I have receipts, and I prove. Can you folks hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. It's bad reception area here. Can you folks put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, right? This is how contradicting this guy is, right? He's contradicting. My lady says 1. Thank you, babe. Respectfully, maturely, professionally. Says Tia 1. It's pretty cold for early December. I'm used to it. Thank you, Tia. Hope you warm up. So this guy, he made a video yesterday and then made another video today because I responded with a community posting. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Can you folks hear me now? Did I go offline for a second? Can you folks hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Did I go offline for a second, babe? Yeah, I don't know what happened, and nothing happened there. I just saw the numbers go down. How long was I offline for? Was I offline for a minute or what? Like, how long was it offline for? Three minutes. Well, let me say again what I was saying. So, this guy, basically, he put out his video where he said I gave him permission to restream him. He showed a clip of my video saying that in March of 2024, March 10th of 2024. Yes, I did do that. And I shared in my community post last night where I debunked this guy completely. He didn't like being debunked, which is why he made another video today. We'll get to that in just a little bit. He was saying in his video that as recent as March of 2020, as recent as in 2024, I gave him permission. But then again, in his newest video today, he's saying that I gave him permission as recent as this year. That's not true. I didn't give him permission this year at all. And I'll explain exactly what I said and how he intentionally misinterpreted it because it sounds better for his YouTube optics, right? So I responded on a community post last night with 5 video links. They are clips of the actual live streams that are attached to this channel. The original live streams are still publicly viewable. These are links that take you directly to the clip of that section within that video, and then you can also click watch video to watch the entire video. These are the authentic original videos. The first two clips were clips of him using my content yesterday to mention I gave him permission in March of 2024, which I did, just to restream me for a little bit. That's not denying that, because I did do that. And then he put out a second video. Oh, it wasn't a second video. It was the same video, but he put a separate clip in there regarding me asserting my trademark rights against the lady that works in concert with him from Florida that's tried to intervene in our case. He put in a clip of me in that same stream talking about her and saying back in those days, when my registered trademark for the GNA here, short for Genuine Networking Association, when the GNA trademark gets registered, anyone that violates my business name and all, they're going to be held accountable. And that registration happened earlier this year. It's all good, right? So my first two clips were basically sharing with people that, yeah, I agree with what you put out in your first video. I agree with what you said. But see, what you left out of your first video were the videos where I retracted the permission. I basically removed the permission. I shared those links in two different videos. The first video was 37 days after. Can you folks still hear me? Put a 1 in the chat. 37 days after I gave him permission just to rebroadcast me, and that's all. Just the live streams, nothing else, right? If he wants to do fair use, other stuff, that's not a big deal. But he couldn't use my members only content and other things like that at that time, right? So 37 days after I gave him permission, I retracted it. Then a few weeks after that, I did another stream where it came up in the chat and I addressed it again. 2 times. He no longer asked permission. So basically, what this guy did last night, he knows it, I know it, his girlfriend knows it, his internet girlfriend knows it, his people know it, we all know it, everyone knows it. He was starving for content. He tried to pivot, he tried to move his people over to his monetized pop culture channel or his movie channel, and nobody wants that. He tried to talk about even other people on his main channel that's not monetized, and none of those people would donate. Maybe a few did, but basically those people don't care for any content besides content on me. He would make postings that didn't involve me, and they got very little to no engagement, right? But then he starts to make videos on me. Now those videos get 20, 30 comments, right? Do you see the trend here? This guy knows, whether he admits it to you or not, and this is what we're going to mention in court. This guy knows that he gets the most engagement when he makes videos about me or talks about me. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. You can quote me on that. It's an absolute fact. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that's an absolute fact. Okay? Now, today, and I just noticed this right before I came out here because Don and I were doing the podcast and I had other things to take care of in the morning. I'm figuring out the healthcare plans for Don and I for the new year. Now's the time to do that. And you know, I've got my insurance license to renew with continuing education. I have a lot of other things to do. But I quickly I skimmed through another video he made today in response to my community posting last night that completely debunked him and his lies about me not having a civil case, about him saying that, you know, I gave him permission, so that negates any harassment or defamation, which is not true. Like, this guy's trying to publicly justify that because I temporarily gave him permission to rebroadcast my stream for 37 days, he's trying to justify that, A, it's not considered harassment or defamation because I gave him that permission. And then B, he's saying that that permission was still good until like earlier this year in 2025. Well, wait a minute. In his first video, and I've downloaded both videos, and I'll do a response to this in the studio without using this content. I will debunk this, and it's only going to make him look like more of a fool than he already looks, right? In his first video, he says he gave me permission as early as 2024, meaning that was the last time that I had given him permission, right? But because I called him out, debunked him with proof, undeniable proof, still publicly viewable on my channel, and I have the clips to share it on my community wall that link back to the original videos and streams, right? Live stream replays, right? Now he makes a video today and he says, well, here's a stream from in 2025 where you gave me permission. You basically said that I'm okay with you doing that. I did say that. I never explicitly said I gave you permission. You see, here's the thing. If anyone uses my content in non-defamatory ways, and if, they're not causing any issues, if they're not lying about things, right, I can choose to let that go. And I will explicitly explain this if it's even necessary. I will explain this to Judge Stacy if it's ever necessary. I don't think it will be, but I'm ready for it anyway. That I did say, hey, I'm okay with him, rebroadcasting this video. I mentioned it just for that video and just for that moment. I never said, hey, I give you permission to rebroadcast me. All I said was I was okay with it because in the context he was using it, he wasn't being harassing or anything crazy like that like he normally is, right? But that doesn't mean I gave up my copyright. I could change my mind that I'm not okay with it any time. And here's the thing. This guy has no contract. We never signed the contract. Nothing like that. This has all been done verbally on YouTube. What is the judge going to think if the defendant tries to present, well, he said this on YouTube, he said this on YouTube, and I'm going to say, well, Your Honor, there's no contract, no nothing. Yes, I did at one point give him permission, but I took it back 37 days later. I don't want to waste the court's time unless you feel it's absolutely necessary, Your Honor. I can show proof of the videos of where I retracted that, and then the defendant continued to spin a narrative that I never retracted that, right? He's doing this all for YouTube theatrics, YouTube optics, right? Trying to reignite the flame of his dying channel because his entire audience is only there when he talks about me. He knows it. He knows. No one wants to hear what this guy says besides when he's talking about me. And that's why he knows it. You know it too, dude. You know it. You absolutely know it. You absolutely know that you probably really don't want to talk about me. And I could probably believe that. The reason why you do it is because you have no choice, because if you stop talking about me, your YouTube career is over. And I don't even think you really ever had a YouTube career, in my opinion, in the first place. Right? Right? You basically made your YouTube career, whatever you want to call it, wanting to be me. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. And then he put in the first video. He put in the first video that I'm going to correct the record every time, making fun of when I correct the record, right? Well, then when I wrote on my community posting, I wrote, I'm going to correct you correcting the record of the false information. And that's all I'm doing here today. This guy's trying to make a funny out of correcting the record, and he further lies, which gives me more to correct regarding the proper record, right? I'm going to keep coming with receipts. I have all the receipts. You see, back in the days, these people used to accuse me of not having receipts. Well, guess what? I have receipts for everything. I have receipts for everything right now. Oh, I need to walk around the park one more time. I forgot. I'm going to walk around the park one more time because I only walked around one time. So here's the thing. Again, yesterday he says that I gave him permission as recent as 2024. But when I debunked him, then he said, oh, here's a video from 2025 that he gave me permission. I didn't give you permission there. All I said was that, hey, I'm okay with you rebroadcasting this one particular stream during a moment of one of my live streams because you weren't really doing anything like super crazy. Yes. Was it wrong? Yeah. Did I want you really rebroadcasting me? No. But see, with him, it doesn't matter whether I ask him to stop or not. If he wants to do it, he's going to do it, and that's why we're in court. The whole point here is that, permission or not, this person has a reckless disregard for authority. He has a reckless disregard for the truth. Okay? He has a reckless disregard for respecting people's wishes and boundaries. He has a reckless disregard for people's civil rights. He has a reckless disregard for people's copyright. And this guy has been recklessly taking advantage and harming people in this way on this platform for the last 6 to 8 years. And there's plenty of proof of it. Not just by me, but many, many other people, including the woman that got a restraining order on him because he made a death threat on her. He tried to appeal that. He lost the appeal. Right? Is that something to be proud of, man? Is it something to be proud of? You thought it was funny to make a meme of grannies watching Jess and then putting their picture on there and using another YouTuber's words that would lead any reasonable human being to believe that you were wishing her harm in the form of a death threat. She took you to court. She won. You appealed. She won the appeal. And then during that appeal, which is publicly available on Google, during that appeal, you basically, the court found you to not be truthful. Your credibility and the way that appeal document was written, basically, they found you and your attorney to not be credible or reasonable. You see, this is the same thing that's going to happen to you in this case and every single case, because you like to live in a world of parody. You like to hide your insecurities behind a world of parody, right? And listen, for YouTube, that might work very well for you. It probably does, right? But in the court of law, you cannot hide the truth behind parody, because in the court of law, they're going to see right through you. It doesn't matter how many videos you make on me, right? It doesn't matter. Wow, we've got a lot of bikes coming here. I thought they were a bunch of cars, but there are a lot. Merry Christmas. Well, I'm going to wait here for them to pass on by. I just saw a bunch of lights, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
What are you thinking of doing?
Wow, that's literally like a group of like 50 bicycles. It's almost like like the Hells Angels, but on regular bicycles, not motorcycles, right? I'm like, are the Hells Angels coming to get me? We just saw a documentary recently, right, babe? So here's the thing. That community posting that the defendant's internet girlfriend put up on her channel. First of all, I don't think she understands the first thing about copyright. But second of all, here's the thing. I can grant anyone that owns the copyright to anything can grant and retract, remove permission in real time at any time. Okay? Listen, in the court of law, internet girlfriend and defendant, in the court of law, you can't make up your own laws like you do on YouTube. On YouTube, you both make up your own laws that satisfy you and your audience, right? We all know that. In the court of law, that's not going to fly. And you both know that, right? Right? And see, the more and more that you make videos like these, that any reasonable judge that understands copyright or understands civil law will see you folks as continuing spreading false narratives of truth about me, right? It's only going to further basically help me against your anti-SLAPP, where you're accusing me of silencing your freedom of speech, but in essence, you're just amping up your defamation is what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying what you've said recently is defamatory. I have to look into it. It could be, but you spreading a false narrative of me could be considered defamatory. It's another false narrative saying that, I did this, this, and that, when that's not true, and you're trying to paint me as the villain, and you're trying to paint me in a bad light publicly to your audience, which also affects me. So yeah, all of that is going to be brought up to the court. And I don't have to file it all right now. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait, and I'll file everything and present everything when necessary. But here's the more important thing here, right? Here's the more important thing here. The more important thing here is what really matters to the defendant, right? What really matters to the defendant? Any normal human being that's being sued for defamation and other things would not be behaving like a defendant, right? So obviously the defendant does not care about this case. He cares about his YouTube optics. He cares more about protecting his fake, phony YouTube reputation that involves his narrative about me and trying to continue to present to his audience of haters and donators that everything he said is true when it's being proved otherwise, which is why we're in court, right? And the more and more I show receipts, and the more and more I prove his lies in real time, almost every day now, because whether he's talking about me or not, he's working with someone or doing something, coordinating something to try to keep the Eli thing going, right? Because that's his business. He's in the business of creating and distributing Eli content because that's what his audience wants. But the bottom line is he has no rights to distribute Eli content unless he uses very, very small clips under fair use, right? So kind of like what he did in his last two videos. But here's the kicker. The last two videos, I would consider those to be more fair use than not. It would be better if he did commentary like he did a commentary with voice like he did in the second one, but he did written commentary. I let it slide, right? So the clips that he put out yesterday and then earlier today, the two video clips he put out, I would say more so fall along the lines of what fair use is supposed to be like, right? Or be about, right? So no problem with those videos. No problem with him using the content there. The problem is with the lies that he's trying to spread and why he's creating those videos. What are his intentions? His intentions are to reignite the Eli haters, to reignite his dying channel, right? To reignite his dying donation engine that's been based on defamation for dollars of Eli for years. And the more and more that I call out his lies and prove to people with receipts, tons of receipts, that he's lying, the harder he has to try to work to keep trying to spin his own audience back the other way. And here's the thing, some of those people in this audience, even though they know I'm right and he's wrong, again, they will always support him because they hate me more than calling him out on his lies. They hate me more than calling him out on his lies, right? Yet they all call me a liar. They call me a liar, his audience and him. They call me a liar. But when this guy's lying about me, their hatred for me is greater than acknowledging his lies, right? The defendant's lies, right? And see, everyone can see the contrast regarding that, right? Everyone outside of this group can see the contrast regarding that, and so will the courts. Mark my words, the courts are going to see the difference in contrast. I have absolutely no doubt about it. One in the chat, if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly, please. One in the chat, if you can hear me and see me, please. That truck was rolling pretty slow. TS says 1. I hope I don't get cut off this time. Like, for some reason, this area over here, I'm going to come over on this side, and that might make a difference. That area over there gets crappy reception at times. You know, copyright law is plain and simple. Okay? Copyright law is plain and simple. Fair use applies to small excerpts for commentary and criticism. And the purpose of the use, the amount of the use, the effect on the marketplace of the use come into place. And this has affected me. So that when something affects the original creator from making money or getting views on his own content, that goes against fair use, against the person using it, even if it's a small portion, right? This is what these people either don't understand to their audience a narrative that sounds true and makes me look bad, right? See, this guy, the defendant, you know, he's a very vindictive and narcissistic type of person that will go through great lengths to keep a narrative going that has been profitable for him and also has made him look like he's in the right, and in my case, I'm the wrong. Like basically, his whole entire foundation on YouTube, the defendant's whole entire foundation on YouTube is dependent on him continuously being able to show his audience that he is better than me. He's that I'm the bully and he's the one that's being harmed. Like his whole identity on YouTube is dependent on him keeping his audience believing that he's just a better all-around person than me. First of all, I'm not trying to prove that I'm better than anyone, which no one should do that. You should just be yourself, right? And second of all, his audience by this point obviously knows that this is stupid, right? His audience knows it's stupid. His own audience even wants him to move on from it. But here's the thing. His own audience is not interested in anything else that he does. And you know what the thing is? He's someone that just gives up real fast. Like he tried to make a shift away from coming at me for like a week or so, maybe a week and a half. He tried to focus more on his other monetized pop culture / movie channel, right? He tried to even smack talk other people. Like he tried to do the same thing or similar thing talking about this Candace lady, right? And other people. And guess what? His audience didn't buy it. They don't want it. He knows it. He tried other drama and nothing, absolutely nothing comes remotely close to getting the traction that he gets when he does anything related to me. He is bound to my identity. This guy is bound to my identity for his survival on this platform. He is bound to my identity on this platform, right? And it's sad. It's surreal. It's sad. That's why we're in court. And if this guy thinks that he's trying, listen. Most of the people watching right now are actually Eli fans. They're not people that enjoy anything. Let me tell you this, troll, aka it could possibly be the defendant. Here's the thing. Whoever is trolling, I don't care. You say that I should thank the defendant because most people watching here are his audience. No, they're not. Here's the thing. These people like me more than him. They just won't admit it. They want to watch my content more than watch anything else he does besides me. It's proven. So how can you sit here and tell me that they're his audience? If they were his audience, then why wouldn't they support him when he wasn't doing content on me for a week and a half? And then he said, oh, well, my well is going dry, so time to crank up the old Eli content again, the Eli Cotton Gin. Time to crank up the Eli Cotton Gin again because I need views, I need comments, right? And I need donations. And I just can't get them doing anything else besides Eli stuff, right? So don't sit here and tell me. Like my mother says, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Come on. You think I'm buying that? These people are going to watch whatever I say, whatever I do. I can go live on Rumble later or anywhere else, and I post it. These people will follow me there. They will watch me. You know why? Because they're curious about what I'm going to say next because they know the defendant is ridiculous. And they live for the drama. I'm not here to create drama. The defendant creates drama. That's all he does. Right? All I want is this to stop. And that's why we're in court. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, brother? It is cold tonight, I'll tell you, but I'm warmed up. I've walked around. Look at that. You see that? It is cold. I'm not lying. Ain't got a lie to kick it, right? Oh yeah, and then who is that other channel? The gig nurse, right? I guess she was someone from the gig economy, right? She's been following. I'm not going to go back and do my regular content until you leave me alone. Whether that happens in court or beforehand. You don't like the fact that I'm correcting the record. I have the right to correct the record. And here's the thing. I'm truthful and you're a fucking liar. So the bottom line is people want to see the record corrected. The bottom line is when you have receipts, it doesn't matter if people hate you. When you have receipts that show concrete proof, right? People know who the real liar is, which is you, right? And they might not come out and tell you you're lying, or they might not come out and tell you they're not going to support you anymore. They'll just not show up, which is what you're seeing, which is why you have to reignite them with what they want, with what they'll show up for regarding anyone that creates this type of content. You see, you're not special, dude. Here's the thing. You defendant, you think you're special. You are not special because anyone can go live right now and talk about me, and that audience will go there. So do you think you're extra special for making content on me, or are you just one out of many in this group? Now, you're the main one that started this whole thing, and you've got the biggest channel in your group, right? But you're not special at all. Anyone can go. It could be that Florida woman. It could be another woman that you're friends with, like your business manager, right? It could be some weird dude that has the initials of BH, right? Do you think that you're special for getting traction when you talk about me, when the truth of the matter is any person in your entire group that goes live and talks about me or rebroadcasts me, that audience will hop around. That audience will hop around like a kangaroo from place to place to place. Yeah, well, I never told the business manager that, and she knows that. It doesn't matter, okay? So you can sit there and try to spin anything you want. That never ever happened. I have proof. You can subpoena the owners of the business. They shut the business down, but you can subpoena the owners of the business. They'll testify on my behalf, okay? And what's that going to do? How about we get the actual business owners, right? Let's get the actual the husband passed away, so it's going to be the wife that was running the business. She's a very good woman. She's still around. We can subpoena her, and we can ask her if this ever happened. How would you like that? Do you think that that would actually change your mind regarding that statement? And here's the thing. Here's the truth of the matter. These people care about you, defendant, which is why they're trying to protect you. They're actually trying to, in other words, say, dude, maybe it's time to stop this before you get yourself in more trouble. That's a big Suburban that's reversing into the lot. Okay. Sorry, I had to get by. There was this big Suburban reversing in the lot there in the driveway of that house. All right, we're all good now. If I don't provide a counter, I already did. I already filed a motion to strike. because there was no proof provided. There was no proof provided that that ever happened. And here's the thing. All I have to do is subpoena one person, the former owner of the business. If that ever, and it's not even a part of the case. It's not going to make any difference because the bottom line is, in order to prove that that was true, you have to prove that I actually did that, and you have to actually prove that I actually said that. And the way it can be proven is by subpoenaing the owner of the business, the lady. You all know who she is. You've talked about her before, right? We could subpoena her, and she can say that never happened, right? So listen, again, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, okay? That's what my mother always says, and I agree with her. That's ridiculous. Every single person in this group is trying to protect the defendant. They're trying to protect him because he continues to make mistakes that affect his real life civilly. This guy has violated so many people's civil rights over the years on YouTube, and he tries to mask it with parody. Nope, it doesn't matter. If he knew it was false, then he would not have stated it as a fact. You see, it's too late, and it's a little too late to do the right thing now. That's probably the defendant. That's probably you, defendant. You see, this is you. You try to reverse manipulate people. You try to get people to say things on the fly that you could flip on them and use against them in court, right? And that's not going to work on me, defendant. It's not, because, right, there's no record, because it never happened. I swear on my life, my mother's life, my brother's life, my girlfriend's life, I swear on even my dead father's grave, I swear on everybody. It never happened, and he knows it. But here's the thing. He put it out as a false statement as fact. He did it because he was trying to entertain his audience. And that's going to more so prove the fact that it was with malice intent and with reckless disregard of the truth. You see, his whole thing is keeping that audience believing that I embezzled. And the only way he was going to do that is by making it sound like it's a fact. He did do that. I have all the proof. It's already been submitted to the court. It's hosted on my private server where it cannot be deleted. It's a permanent record there and all ready to rock and roll. So you want to come in here and listen to me. If you want to come in here and troll me, you got to do a much better job of trolling me. Because like I said the other day, I will troll you here live in real time. I'm Elias Melas. I'm at Red Morton Park in Redwood City, California. This is where I live. This is my channel. This is the real me. I will troll you in real time better than you trolling me on some anonymous account because you need to hide your identity because you're afraid that using your real identity can be used against you. And it would be used against you, right? And it would be used against you. So maybe that's a smart move, right? Oh, here we go again. I just heard you admit it 2 minutes ago. And I quote, nice try, okay? It doesn't work anymore. Your reverse, your quadruple reverse manipulation defendant does not work. You trying to distribute throughout your network, including the Florida woman, including your internet girlfriend, including other people in your audience trying to act in concert, you trying to to spread all this out there and have all these people come at me at once in different ways, you have failed, sir. You have failed to troll me. You have failed to accomplish what you want. All you've done is caused me reputational harm and harassment and bullying. That you have done. You absolutely have done that. Hang on. I got the front light on. Now they got a fence up here now. I don't know why that is closed. I think the park closes a little bit earlier on Sundays. Oh, the fence is open right here. I'm going to start wrapping this up really soon here. We are at 58 minutes. You have a reckless disregard for the truth. Because the truth does not suit your narrative of keeping your audience around. And until you let that go, I mean, look, you're going to continue to get yourself in trouble. You're going to continue to end up in court over this stuff. Not just by me, but by many other people. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for moderating that, Lewis. I appreciate it. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly, please. We're going to start wrapping this up real soon. Yeah, I didn't mention my living situation years ago because I didn't want you folks harassing my family. So is that you? Is that you, Joe? Or is that you, defendant? It's funny to me how the soccer account activity slowed down. By the way, the stream before this one is on Rumble. It was not removed on YouTube. I moved it over there for other reasons that I don't need to mention. But obviously, I am streaming here, and so the video did not get removed at all. Yeah, here's the thing. Even before Dawn moved in, I had moved back into that place, and I was renting out that place. I just didn't want people knowing I was there because I didn't want them harassing my mother. Okay? I have no shame in where I live. And let me tell you something. I take care of that house like it's my own. I help my mother. I help Dawn. I repair the toilets. I repair the sinks. I clean the floors. I do everything because I love that house. It's my house it's the house that my dad built, his dream house. And I love my mother and my father. And clearly, obviously, right? You were trying to protect yourself from people finding out that you moved back in with your parents, right? But see, the fact that you kept on, poking fun at me over me clarifying the record on what my living situation is actually like, which it doesn't matter. What does my living situation matter? What does it matter? What does it matter? You live with your parents. You're going to get their house when they pass away. They're going to give you their money. Hopefully you can make it last. Let's see what you do. You see, why is it okay for you to do the same thing that I'm doing? The difference is I'm paying my way, doing repairs, doing a lot of stuff for the family. I don't know what you're doing besides playing around on YouTube all day and then having some supposed job that you work from home. What is the difference? Listen, I'm not ashamed of anything at all. All I've ever done is try to protect myself and protect my family. But now it's out in the open. I don't care. Yes, because his living situation was different than mine, and I still stand tall on that. You have to understand. He's living in a room, like a childhood room, right? For me, I've always rented out the in-law unit. It's the third floor of the house, and the top 2 floors are where my mother is at. I have my own door from the bottom. I enter from the outside separately. It's basically an in-law unit that anyone can rent out. There's a big difference, right? But regardless, I don't care. I'm not here to criticize his living situation. What I'm criticizing is the fact that why it's okay for him to do the same things that he accuses me of doing. You see, he does the same things that he accuses me of doing and spins them way out of context because it's one clear projection of jealousy. That's what it boils down to. I mean, we could talk about this until the sun comes up, which my lady wouldn't be happy about that because she wants dinner tonight. And I want dinner too. And I want to spend time with my family. But why is it okay for him? Why is it okay for him to talk all this trash, this nonsense, but then it's okay for him to do the same thing he accuses me of doing that he takes out of context? Give me a break. Those days are done. Done with a capital D. Right? So, we're going to keep correcting the record. Publicly and through the court. Okay? We're going to keep correcting the record publicly and through the court. Right? And the more videos he puts out, all we're going to do is download and screenshot the comments and get the transcripts. And all we're going to do is put them in a file. It doesn't mean we're going to file everything, but what it means is that when it comes time to depose the defendant and depose the non-party person he works in concert with, that's been trying to intervene in this case, we're going to depose both of them. When we depose them, we're going to go, on this date, you put this out. On this date, you put this out. Now, this isn't clearly defamatory, but you continue to, this is a pattern of your harassment, right? When it comes to try to prove even defamation, and you're trying to get a protective order to stop someone's nonsense that's affecting your reputation, even showing harassment, a pattern of harassment helps you. That's how we're going to do it, sir. I don't have to file everything. I've already filed more than enough to paint the picture for the judge regarding your character. You've also, in my opinion, you have character assassinated yourself. You have character assassinated yourself in this case, along with the other woman that tried to intervene in the case without getting leave of court and without filing a motion to intervene. And then she also tried to schedule a couple hearings with the judicial assistant where she has no standing in the case. Wow. You want to explain all of that? Are you miraculously forgetting every little thing that you and the person that you're acting in concert with have done? Excuse me. I'm going to talk about whoever I want, whenever I want. Thank you for asking. Thank you for being interested. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I mean, honestly, you're interested, right? So, hey. Here's the thing. I talk about things that make sense and that are relative and that need correcting, right? If something needs to be corrected for the record, I will talk about it. I'm going to keep correcting the record until you folks stop tainting my record. The moment you stop tainting my record, I'll stop correcting it because it won't be necessary. Bottom line. Just like you say, hey, I can talk about you whenever I want. You can. You can talk about me whenever you want. Just don't harass me, don't defame me. And don't violate my copyright. You want to do fair use clips? No problem. But don't do them with the intent to harass, because that's all you're doing. You know, if you make vanilla content on me or anyone, no one watches. You have to defame and harass people to get any attention on this platform. That's pretty sad, man. That is really, really sad. Really, really sad. Anyway, I got to get going. We're at 68 minutes. You tell me how long do you want to keep it going? Because I'll tell you what, I'm not afraid of court. My lady says, understanding copyright law isn't about limiting creativity. It's about respecting the boundary where inspiration ends and ownership begins. Have an enlightened week. Babe, that was really good. Understanding copyright law isn't about limiting creativity. It's about respecting the boundary where inspiration ends and ownership begins. Have an enlightened week, everyone. Yes. Lewis Fuller. It's true, Tia. When you act like a child, you're going to be treated like a child. Lewis says, and he's acting like a child that has never grown up, still playing with his tinker toys and using a potty chair. Yeah, you're probably right, Lewis. You're probably right. These people don't understand being grateful and appreciative, says Tia. Lewis says, and there's no law saying you shouldn't love your family and support them. You're right. Yeah, I mean, these people are stuck on the past. They can't move on, right? You know, I've already mentioned everything and why I did what I did, and I was trying to protect my family, right? That's because I'm right, says respectfully, maturely, and professionally Don. Everyone, enjoy your evening, says Tia. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Good night. You can stop this at any time. I'll tell you what, I'll stop when he stops. When he stops using my name for harassment, defamation, and using it to try to reignite the Eli haters. When he stops doing dumb things, I'll stop calling him out. Until then, I'll call him out all the time. It's my right to correct the record. I absolutely have the right to correct the record, and I will continue to correct the record all the time if I have to. And I'll just keep creating the pattern that, hey, if it needs to be submitted into evidence for Judge Stacy in our court case, then so be it. If not, maybe there's more than enough already. I'm not going to overwhelm the court with things they don't need. I'm going to send them things that I feel they need, things that are relevant. This is not relevant. Like my stream is not relevant, maybe. Right now, I'm doing this to correct the record because my reputation to me matters out here on YouTube. The YouTube optics matter for me in a positive way because that's who I am. And I'm being misrepresented. This guy just can't stop. Oh, so now you're jealous saying that I live in the basement. Let me tell you something. You can call my place the basement all you want. But let me tell you something. I got a lot more room than you to create YouTube videos. I've got 2 dogs with Dawn, right? The living room is long. We've got our kitchen. The dogs can run around in there. We've got a nice central heating system, keeps us warm, right? A separate studio room for our podcast, right? If you want to call the 3rd floor where I live a basement, I'll tell you, it's one of the nicest fucking basements you'll ever see. And I'm not saying that to show off. I'm saying that because of how stupid you sound, right? You can call that Eli's basement all you want, right? Listen, this is not like the basement of some other people. And I don't care. I'm not here to criticize anyone that actually lives in the basement. People are going to live where they can afford to live based on their situation, right? But you're well, but we've already gone live from our nice basement, like you call it. We've gone live from our basement per se, right? So you're gonna have to wait until the next time we go live from our what you call our basement per se, right? Right? We'll go live from the basement at some point, right? Hey, listen. I'll adapt your language if it's gonna make you feel better and allow you to sleep better at night, feeling that I live in a basement. Then hey, shit. Might as well be a basement then because it's one of the nicest fucking basements I've ever fucking seen. So I don't know what to tell you. And I say that with humility and respect. I mean, honestly. Guys, oh, they're doing the DJ again this year. Look, I gotta go. They're gonna have the Christmas show. Babe, you see this? Hey, Gordo, how you doing? So we are live at Red Morton Park. It's the house across the street that does the lighting show every year. And now there are a lot of people there. That's why the people are playing. Okay, I'm gonna have to go because there's probably gonna be some copyrighted music there. Gotta run. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.